Hi, I'm Claire Trott from Technical Connection, and today I'm going to talk to you about lifetime allowance charges on death. They do differ from lifetime allowance charges in lifetime because the beneficiary is the one that is subject to the lifetime allowance charge, although it's the lifetime allowance of the deceased person that you're testing it against. So schemes will not be paying the lifetime allowance charge in these circumstances, but they will be providing certain information to the personal representative. And it's the personal representative that is liable to actually do the calculations and report to HMRC. So there's 6 stages in this. So stage 1, the scheme informs the personal representative of various bits of information they're going to need. 2, the scheme has to tell HMRC if a lump sum is payable, and the lump sum is more than half of the standard lifetime allowance, and that includes all lump sums paid out within the scheme, not just a single one. So if it's going to multiple beneficiaries and it totals up to 50% of the lifetime allowance, then they have to report that to HMRC. The personal representatives does stage 3, and they calculate what lifetime allowance has been used. So they need to get all that information from all the different sources to find out what's already been used and what needs to be tested, because not everything will need to be tested on death. So if you've got pensions already in payment and pensions that have been tested, then they're not factored into that calculation. They'll also need to know the different types of benefits that are being paid, whether they're a beneficiary's annuity, a beneficiary's drawdown, or a lump sum. So they need to use all of that to work out if there is going to be a chargeable amount. They then contact HMRC and tell HMRC that there is a chargeable amount, and then it's over to HMRC to contact the scheme, get some extra information, find out where all the money's gone and who it's been paid to. And HMRC will assess the beneficiaries and they will charge them. And then the beneficiaries has 30 days in which to settle their account. This may sound really harsh because you may be given a very, very large sum of money from a pension, but it will be pre-75 because post-75 will already have had their BCEs done, so there will be no lifetime allowance charge post-75. So being pre-75, then they should be able to get their hands on the money without having to subject themselves to income tax. So they've got a choice. They could take some money out of the pension to pay those charges, or they can pay it out of their own pocket if they want to actually leave the money within the pension. There's some other differences here to doing lifetime allowance charge tests in lifetime. So you can't choose which order these tests happen. So even if they actually happen on different days, technically it's all simultaneous. So it's all treated as if it happens at one single point in time. What this means is the lifetime allowance charge is equally spread across the different beneficiaries depending on the amount of benefit that they're getting. So if someone was to get half of it, then they will pay half the lifetime allowance charge than if they were to get a quarter of it, and they would pay a quarter of the lifetime allowance charge. It will also depend on how they've had the benefits, because if you're paid out as a lump sum, then we have the higher lifetime allowance charge of 55%, or if you're payable as an income, then it's 25%. This may seem a little silly because we're saying there shouldn't be any income tax charges, but that's unfortunately just the way it works. If it's paid out as a lump sum, then it will incur the higher lifetime allowance charge. You also can't choose who pays that charge. So you can't say, although individuals are liable to certain amounts, that actually want it all to come from one certain pot because it's actually payable from the individual. How they deal with that and how they get their money to pay those charges is another matter entirely. But it's really important just to make sure that people understand that it works in such a different way to actually lifetime allowance charges in lifetime. And it can mean lots of toing and froing. And it will take, in some cases, over a year to actually get that charge put through to the beneficiary. So they need to be aware that they're going to have a charge so that they can keep the money back rather than spending it all to be able to pay that charge, because they will be liable for it. The scheme is not in any way liable for this lifetime allowance charge, unlike those that happen at retirement. Hopefully that's helpful. If you need more details, there's a full list of how this works and examples on the Pensions Tax Manual, or you can have a look in TechLink where we've got some more information as well. Thank you.